Regular session of Nogales Housing Authority Board of Commissioners meeting 5 p.m. Actually, 5:10 p.m. Wednesday, June 5th, 2024, City Hall Complex. Council chambers, can you please rise for a pledge of allegiance and call this meeting to order? Commissioner Rodriguez, do the favor.
Yes.
Honors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Carmen, any call to public? Thank you. Move to item number 4, outstanding compliance findings.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to all. On May 30th, we received an audit closeout letter for fiscal year ending March 31st, 2023. If you recall, we had 2 findings in that audit requiring corrective action, and we have successfully completed the corrective action period. Therefore, that audit has been successfully closed. On May 31st, we received notification and a copy of a score report for Public Housing Assessment System FOS with a designation status of, do I get a drum roll, sir? Substandard physical. A previously troubled designation score increased from 42% to 73%. We would have been considered standard due to the fact that it's over 60%. However, we're still pending the reinspection that we've been waiting for over a year because of the change to Inspire. So once we get that, hopefully we'll go up. If we stay the same, then we still have this year to work on it. I'm very excited and very proud of our staff for pulling together and taking these positive strides towards the goal of higher performer designations, which is 90% and above. That is my goal. I'm sorry, go ahead. That's all I have for the outstanding compliance.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions?
Any questions? Director's report?
On our occupancy report, which you have in front of you, you'll see that in public housing, we went down from 220 to 218 in the month of May. We have 3 ready to lease units, 3 in turnaround status, and 2 are still offline and they're almost completed. This new contractor that we got for these modernizations has been working very quick opposed to the one that was hired prior. Move-ins, 0, move-outs, 2, and transfers, 0. We interviewed 8 out of 15. So 15 letters went out for interviews, only 8 showed up. We have 218 out of 224 actually occupied, giving us a 97.32%. On our waiting list, our 1-bedroom increased even more this month, 88, 2-bedroom 63, 3-bedroom 25, and 4 and 5 bedrooms remained at 3 and 1 each. Maintenance, our regular work orders, daily work orders, 79 out of 82 were completed. We have the 3 units in turnaround status that are being worked on. 1 unit was made ready, and we had 11 callbacks. Any questions on that before I move on to the housing choice voucher?
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Just a quick question on the 4 and 5 bedrooms. How many do we actually have of those units?
You're asking me a question that I will not have an actual answer
For next
right
meeting
now.
would be fine.
I will get you that information though. Thank you. I don't
Just
want to give you the wrong number.
I was just curious.
Any other questions?
Any main concern on the move-outs?
The end of the school year, a lot of families wait for that and to make a move to another destination, and or they had already planned on moving and it just happened to be in May. What I will add here, I was going to add it at the end. I always review this and down with the staff and try to implement different strategies to try to target what the area, what the problem is. And on mine, not on yours, I have highlighted the actual interviewing process and the time that it takes. So in reviewing all this with my staff, it was determined that waiting 7 to 10 days between appointments is too long. So if we send out the letters, they don't show up, and we still wait 7 to 10 days to send out another letter, that's a month. That's the whole month. So in researching our local mail, mailing within the same zip code, they claim it takes 24 hours. So I asked them, it's not in policy, it's just a procedure. So I asked them to narrow that down moving forward, opposed to doing 7 to 10 days, we're doing 3 to 5 days. So that buys us time. Time is money for us, and our staff has to understand that. I'm adamant about that. And we're gonna try to implement that, see how that works, opposed to losing. If you can see, we had 3 and we still have 3 because they did show up. Some did qualify. 2 out of the 3 that qualified said yes and then turned around and said, no, never mind, I don't like the unit. And then you have to start all over again. So it's a lot of lost time. It's time consuming, and we can't afford that. So that's the strategy that we're implementing based on this report for this month.
Do the tenants have a 30-day notice prior to moving out?
Yes,
And
yes. Unless, in one case, one of these actually abandoned the home. And then we had to go through the legal process of posting abandonment, giving them the 15 days. If they don't show up in the 15 days, then we have to vacate everything they leave there, and then go in and prepare for the lease. We have those 20 days to prepare. That's one of the ones that's on turnaround status, was actually abandoned.
Okay. Yes, sir, Commissioner Duff.
I was just a little curious as far as how long is it taking for the list, the people that are on the waiting list, for each person that's on the top to get to one of the homes?
We're looking at an average of about a year to 2 years, depending on which program. However, on which I was gonna also, you guys are jumping, but it's okay. On the housing choice voucher, we're down to 48 on the waiting list. So we're gonna open that one.
Okay.
So the public housing is open. That's why you see that our waiting list numbers, there was a rise in our waiting list numbers this month because it's not closed. It's an open waiting list. However, on the voucher side, it's been closed for a while. We are going through the process of opening, which is also posting it in 10 days and all the legalities behind it to be able to post that opening and get more people on the waiting list for the actual vouchers.
Okay. Is it okay do you have the time to receive commissioners on your office to ask certain questions like the process, and then is there anybody else that we could work with the community to kind of provide maybe more housing and again, and the other question would be, you can tell me later if you don't have that, like what's the normal span of time that most residents stay in the housing facilities that we provide?
I'm going to say on your last question, it depends, especially on our project-based vouchers, on their need and their ability to stay there.
Okay,
So that's a quicker turnaround than the other ones. The other ones will range anywhere from 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3 years, depending. The project-based ones seem to last longer than our public housing ones.
So whenever we have a little curiosity about something, is it okay to stop by your office?
Oh, sure. My doors are always open as long as I'm there and I'm not in a meeting. Yes, my doors are always open, and you're welcome to go and even take a tour of these 2 new units that we're about to finish. to remodel, so you could take a look at the inside
Oh,
also.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Commissioner Gradius.
You mentioned that, I think two you said had declined after they saw the unit. Is there any way we can incorporate showing them the unit before going through the process or during the process? Because I didn't understand. You said that you had already signed two, but then they saw the unit and they said they didn't want it.
It's part of the process. They're not signed, but the process is a lengthy one. So once they're on the list, then they have to come back and they have to show that everything that they said was going on when they applied is still actual, from income to verifying everything else, the background check and whatnot. Within that time, when we're waiting for that, is when we show the unit. So we have potential fill-ins, but whether it's maybe the background check that didn't clear or them not liking the units available, then that turns it back around. But that's why they select more than one.
Correct.
But then you're stuck if that one, if you select three and the first one off the bat takes it, then you're stuck with the other two again at the beginning of the list. So.
Thank you. Any other questions? Go ahead, continue, Maritza.
So on the housing choice voucher side, we have 156 vouchers, 5 on the street, and 16 available. We had 0 move-ins, 0 move-outs, and again, in interviews, we had 7 show up out of 12 that were sent out. The waiting list, we have 48. Projected base voucher, which is Bowman, we have 20, and we're down to 19 again. For that one, we did interview right away. So we have 2 out of 3 showing up for interviews for Bowman. The waiting list for Bowman is 15. Stability vouchers, we had 5, 4 have been executed, and we still have that one that's poured out to Tucson, and we will continue to pay that one. Emergency housing vouchers, we had the total of 15. The executed lease, 11. On the street, we don't have any. We actually had 1 move out, and we have the 1 poured out. However, there is no availability on the emergency vouchers anymore. Any questions on that?
Any questions? No?
That's what I have on my actual occupancy report. On the financial side, our unaudited single audit, which is the one that's done to close out the fiscal year for March 31st, 2024, was successfully submitted in a timely fashion on Wednesday, May 29th, 2024. I will come back with the results of our closeout. I wanted to do it next meeting, but next meeting is going to be a big meeting because of all the policies and stuff. So I might stick it in there. If not, I'll wait till the next one. Before we move on to the next, if I may, I want to just do a brief on the RAB, Resident Advisory Board. So as you know, it's composed of public housing residents from different properties and could also include our Section 8 voucher. This group of residents, along with doing community service and other activities that they promote, also participate in the planning. So whether it's the annual plan or the 5-year plan, they take part in that. The NHA RAB had previously been established many years ago. And for COVID reasons and other reasons, they stopped actively meeting. So it's been a challenge bringing them back, but we have. And here with us today, we have Nubia Murrieta, who's actually been on the RAB for over 10 years. And we have Gloria Quintero, who's new, fresh to our board. Both of these ladies have accepted the leadership responsibility to represent the RAB here at the NHA Commissioners Board, pending the outcome and consideration of the possible action that we have moving forward. So Nubia and Gloria, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you and welcome.
And that's all I have, unless you have questions.
Go ahead, Commissioner,
Maritza, I don't know if I understood right, but did you say that you submitted the audit for the 23-24 year?
The unaudited submission
Yes.
was submitted May 30th, last week, which is the end of the year, the closeout. The other one was submitted back in December, and that one I also gave, announced earlier in the meeting that it's been closed out. We actually complied with our actual corrections, and it's been closed out completely. And we're starting to work on, I actually missed that, thank you. We're starting to work on this year's audit, which is due December 31st, 2024. And we already started working on that, and the first field work will take place, we have it scheduled for June 19th and June 20th. So we're already starting on this year's audit.
Oh, okay, that's where I misunderstood. You had already submitted the audit for this?
No. It's due in December, but we already started the work on that one as well.
thank you, Melissa. So we move on to item number 6, housing resolution. 1, consideration and possible action of housing resolution 2024-06-04, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the Housing Authority City of Nogales approving the appointment of Nubia Murrieta and Gloria Quintero as a resident commissioner of the Housing Authority City of Nogales Board of Commissioners for a 1-year term. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations and welcome. Item number 7, future agenda items, Marita. My only question would be, being that, and you just mentioned it, that you said you're gonna have a stacked agenda for next meeting. Are we gonna have a 4 o'clock meeting or a 5 o'clock meeting?
I will send out everything prior to it because it's, our policy books basically changed. I will highlight all the changes to make it easier. I will send them out by Friday or Monday. That gives you a month to look over the changes on both. We do have a call to the public again. Besides that, I don't think we need more time unless you see that we would have way too many questions on the policies. I don't know how you would like
Mr.
to
Hector,
handle that. I'm open for
You're
recommendations.
pretty much the lead in the history of this. Do you think we need more time?
Which policies are you changing?
Everything. Well, okay, no, not everything. We're changing our actual ACOP and our admin, but we're only changing what they're requiring us to change because of HOTMA and Inspire.
Right, you're not changing the whole.
No, but it's within all the chapters.
Okay.
So that's why, but no, it's not the whole, and like I said, I will highlight all the changes that we've made in reference to what they've sent us that we had to make
And
changes.
it's just the ACOP and the admin?
I'm sorry?
Just the ACOP and the admin?
Yes,
that you're
sir.
changing?
Policies in reference to inspections and eligibility more than anything.
And what else is on the agenda besides those 2 items?
The passing of the annual plan again, including the policy changes
The annual plan for,
that we had already submitted, but we have to resubmit it because we didn't include those changes
Oh,
that will
okay.
take effect in October.
all right. I think 1 hour is good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Diaz?
I have a question for Mr. Palladini. She mentioned right now she has an open door for commissioners, but we hold a dual role. So if we go visit, would be taking the city manager with us, or how would we handle that? Or is there a conflict at all?
I don't think there's a conflict. You know, are you concerned about, as a council member, meeting with staff individually? Is that the question? Do you have concerns about that, or?
I think it's not a concern. I think there's kind of like are they acting as commissioners or are they acting as councilmen? So as councilmen, they can't meet directly with employees, but as commissioners, my understanding is that they can.
So I think the answer there is if you're going to meet as a commissioner, you just have to keep it to housing authority issues only.
Commissioner Doyle.
My understanding is that even as councilmen, we can speak to any director or any employee as long as we don't tell them what to do. If we ask questions, we can go and speak to them. That's my understanding.
No,
Yes, sir. As long as you don't give them direction, you can meet with them.
correct, no directions. Meet and talk, no problem. Okay. Any other questions? So 5 o'clock be okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, any future agenda items?
And I'm gonna take that back. We have to do it at 5 o'clock because that's how it's posted in the newspaper.
Okay,
Sorry.
Okay, do your homework.
And that was as per John Kissinger? No.
Commissioner,
Marissa, just make sure that we get the information on Friday, so we have the weekend, so we can
Oh, you're gonna have a month. This is for the July meeting.
review it, so we can be prepared on the day of the meeting. Right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
thank you. Anything else? Thank you, Melissa. I move to adjourn this meeting.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?